Hi guys, welcome back to part 3 of this crochet along. I keep wanting to say cow, the C-A-L, but the crochet along. And in this one, in part 3, I'm going to show you how to make the neckline, to sew on your shoulders and to make the armholes, and also how to do the bottom of the sweater. And for this, you're going to need your 5mm hook. And also, you're going to need your tapestry needle. You're always going to need your tapestry needle and your scissors, so keep those close. Okay, when you finish your rows at the top, you want to mark over 19 stitches and then mark. And then same for this side, 19 stitches over and mark. If you're making another size, then try to generally get it 1/3 of the whole row. So do about 1/3 on this side, 1/3 on this side, and then what's in the middle will be the neck. And how do you want to attach it is you want to make sure that you turn your piece to the other side. May actually be easier to turn it over to the opposite side before you mark, because then you won't be able to flip it over as easily. So make it inside out and then mark it. Don't do what I did. Learn from my mistakes. Okay, so I'm right-handed. So I need to crochet from the left to right. I'm sorry if that's going to confuse you left-handers who are watching this flipped video. But you're going to need to crochet over the way that you need to. So if you end up like me and you're on the opposite side of what you need, then you can just go ahead and grab this. Like if you're on this side and you need to go to the left, you can always go in through the stitch on the opposite side and then go in through, wait, you're gonna need to have it on your hook. I chained one, and you can go in through this side and this stitch and then just slip stitch like that, and then you can start. But mine is on the right side actually, so I chained one. I go into my first stitch on this side, then my first stitch on the other side. Let me get a little closer for you. And then you want to pull up a loop and then pull through 2 loops. And you can do that again on your next stitch. You can go under both loops, or you can only go through this loop and this loop. But I don't think it's as strong as a connection, and I'm hoping that this will be worn for many years. So I'm going to go under both, get a strong connection, and single crochet. And you can also use another method of sewing, but single crochet has been tried and true, and it never comes loose, and it's a strong connection. So I'd always prefer to sew using a single crochet. So go ahead and single crochet all the way down to your marker, and you can remove your marker now because you know it's the next stitch. Single crochet in your next stitch, and then you can chain one and cut your yarn. And then you want to get the yarn again. Let me go ahead and cut this yarn for you. Go ahead and cut the yarn and just pull up and then move to your other side. Okay, so get your yarn. Remember, to mimic a slip knot, leave about 3 inches of tail to be worked in later. So you're going to attach it by going in through the first stitch and then going in through the opposite stitch, or the same equal on the other side, and then you'll pull up a loop, so 2 loops on your hook, and then pull through both. Do a single crochet attachment, and now you're going to do the same thing. You're going to go through each stitch, crocheting all the way up to your marker again. Okay, I'm coming back up to my first marker, my second marker here. So remove it, and then you can finish up that last stitch. Okay, now we're going to go ahead, since our yarn is attached already, we're going to leave it on. And now you want to turn your work back the other way. Guess I'm going to go from this part up because it's just going to be easier. you want to do this next part with the right side facing. So my hook is here. My yarn loop is here. Make it bigger so I can see it. And you can see now that you have this. If it's the same color, you won't see that. It's just going to be flat, and it's going to look good. So I'm going to flip it like this because I'm right-handed. There we go. Okay. I'll go ahead and chain 1, and now we're going to start our collar. So to do the collar, you want to go in this first stitch that has not had a stitch worked into it. Be careful here. You can see there's a stitch line going right into this stitch. I hope you can see that. See, if you pull it a little bit, you can see there's something sticking out of that stitch. So you want to find the very first unworked stitch, and you want to put a single crochet. And then you're going to look for that same stitch but on the other side. So go ahead and single crochet over all your stitches till you reach the other side of your corner. And get to this stitch on the other side. The first, or I should say the last unworked stitch. And that's my last one, because see, I can see this one has something in it. So we're doing the back part of the collar, so we want to do a chain of 1 and turn. We're going to be doing a row. You want to do 2 more rows of just plain single crochet. So now that you have how many stitches that make up your back, you want to single crochet in all of them, chain 1, single crochet in the other one, and then come back, and then I'll show you how to continue on to the front side. Okay, so I got both of my single crochet rows done. I have a total of 3 single crochet rows. Now you're going to want to work on these side stitches. These side stitches here, where there's a hole here and a hole here, you're going to be using both of those. And you're going to do a single crochet decrease. So go ahead and chain 1 just to make it a little easier. Turn to the side, go into that first side stitch, pull up a loop. Go into the second side stitch, pull up a loop. Then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Then turn. Now you're looking for the stitches that are on either side of this last place where you did a single crochet when you sewed it. Now you want to look for the 2 stitches on either side of that. Get my pointer again, here and here. And you're going to do another single crochet decrease. So go in there and pull up a loop, go in the next, pull up a loop, pull through all 3 loops. Now you're going to single crochet down the front stitches. Till you reach the other side. And then again, I've reached the very last stitch here where there's these 2 again. Now I'm going to do a single crochet decrease using those 2 stitches again, but on this side. And then find the 2 side stitches here. On this side, since you did a chain up, it's got a big stitch right there. So what I like to do is go into this stitch where my chain 2 is coming out of, and I pull up my first loop there, and then I go into this big chain 2 space, pull up a loop, and then I do my single crochet decrease. And then you want to slip stitch in the very first stitch. And then you want to continue to slip stitch in all the stitches around, all the back stitches, all the front stitches, until you reach here where you did your very first slip stitch. Let me back up a little bit. Slip stitching is pretty fast. Go down your 2 side stitches, as difficult as it is. I think that's my chain 1 actually. No, that's my side stitch. Nope, it's a chain 1. Oh well, still gonna need to go through it. Okay, I'm gonna try to go through it. Such difficulty. Okay, and then the next one. Then there's this big gap here where I'm gonna show you what I do to close those in a minute. Now I'm on the front. So keep slip stitching around. Now I'm on that single crochet decrease, that single crochet decrease, and then you're going to slip stitch. That's the last stitch of the row. You're going to slip stitch in this very first slip stitch, chain 1, and you want to leave a little extra, more than 3 inches, maybe 4 or 5 inches. Cut your yarn because you're going to use this to sew. So go ahead and grab up your tapestry needle, and just that little part here where you do those 2 single crochet decreases, I try to go into the stitch before it and then through it and then after it, and just pull your yarn through, and then I'm going to go in, not the last one I went in, but the previous one, and then the one where I first started, and pull again. That tightens up that area. And then just go ahead and hide it down the stitching of your shoulder here, one way, and then go another way. Always go at least 2 different ways. Then stretch out your yarn, cut it, and then I get another piece, maybe about 5 inches or so. Actually, I need a little bit more than that because you're going to have to hide your tail after. So get about 7 inches or so. Then grab up the other side. Find this spot here where you have the hole. Again, go through the stitch in front, go through the stitch itself, and then go through the next stitch. Hope you can see this. Try it again. Go through the stitch before it, go through the actual stitch, and then the one after it. Then pull through. But pull only till you have about a 3-inch tail on this side. Whoops. And then go in through the actual stitch again, and then the first stitch where you started sewing, then pull it through, and then that'll tighten up that hole. And then again, you can hide it down the stitches of your shoulder, and then come back going another way. Stretch out your material, then cut your yarn, and then hide your tail here and the other side if you have one. No, you don't. You have the one where you first attached it. So then you'll have to hide your tails, but then that is how you do your, oh, I went out of focus. Where'd you go? Come back. There we go. So that is how you do the front and the back of the collar. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to make this ribbing here at the very bottom of your sweater. Okay, since my border is black, I wanted to use my sample flowers that I had before, and I went ahead and connected them with a marker just to keep it together so that you can see at the bottom of your sweater as well. It's also going to be in a circle. This is done in the round, so I want to make sure I do it in the round. Okay, so you're going to attach your yarn the same exact way that you did before. So you can start with your first chain 3 space, attach it by single crochet method, and then again do a single crochet in that same chain 3 space. This is just like we did before. So in the second the second chain 3 on the top petal, both of them are the same as before. 2 single crochets in the first chain 3 space, and then 2 single crochets in the second chain 3 space, and that's how you'll work your stitches in every top puff stitch petal. Then once you've got that, your side petals here, you're going to put 1 double crochet in that, and then your connections between flowers, you'll put 1 single crochet into that big old space. And then again, this is a side petal, so we'll do a double crochet, and that'll bring us back up to the repeat of our top petal. So you're going to work 2 single crochets worked in the top petal, and then 1 double crochet in the side petal, 1 in the center, and 1 in the side petal. So go ahead and do that all the way around, and then place a marker here because the next stitch, the next rows will be done in one continuous. Okay, I've reached the end of my row. I'm going to go ahead and put a marker here. It doesn't have to be attached or anything, just pull a yarn if you want through there. And we're going to be working one continuous round now. So go into your very first stitch and go ahead and do a slip stitch. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do front and back single crochets. The very first single crochet, go ahead and go in, pull up a loop, and then do a single crochet. The next one will be a back post single crochet. So you want to come in from the back, push that post back of the single crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. Then again, we're going to be alternating between front and back post single crochet. So this one will be a front post, and then the next will be a back post. Then we'll pull up the double crochets and do them the same way, alternating front and back, then front. And you want to continue this all the way around. Of course, my round is much smaller than yours, so I'm about to be at the end. Okay, I've reached back up here to the beginning again, and I ended on a front post. And this is also a front post, so you can't have it front post. So in this place in between where I have this stitch, where I slip stitched earlier, I'm just going to do a single crochet there, which next row will be a single crochet back post. So I'll have it be in line, front post, back post. So now I'm ready to just continue in one continuous row. So I'm going to pick up that first single crochet front post of my round and do a single crochet front post, and then wherever you have single crochet back post, do a single crochet back post. You're going to keep going on the same pattern that you did, and you want to do this for a total of 4 rounds. So we just did 1, we're working on our second round now, so finish this row and then do it 2 more times and you'll be done with the bottom rim of your sweater. Okay, that's it, guys. I hope you can follow along and that you've got your collar and your shoulders all sewn up and you've got your bottom now and it's starting to look like a sweater, and now all you need to do is add the sleeves. So I'm going to release that tutorial next week, and I'll show you how to do the sleeves. So stay tuned for part 4 and keep sharing those pictures on Facebook. Crochet for the Masses.